Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. It is Tuesday, July 16th, and we're going to get to weather and traffic in just a minute.
But first, a developing situation on the southwest side.
Well, there are a lot of police in a neighborhood south of Highway 90 near Frio City Road on Taft Boulevard. Officers were called there for a shooting, but now SWAT is involved, and this has become a barricaded suspect situation.
Devin Karp is live at the scene. Devin, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Patty, Steph, we've been hearing sporadic calls from the hostage negotiation team telling the suspect in this house behind us to come out with his hands up. As you can see, we still have a very heavy police presence going on in the Taft Street. Now, we know this all started around 6 this morning when police found a woman, Hispanic in her mid-30s, on Taft Boulevard in critical condition with a gunshot wound in her head. Now, before she was transported for medical attention, she was able to tell police that the suspect was still inside one of those houses, 651 Taft Street. After that, police then surrounded the home and called in SWAT teams and the hostage negotiation team. They've been calling for people inside to come out and have detained 2 men and a woman from that home. Now, police aren't sure if any of them are the shooter, but are still acting as if they are not and still believe there are guns inside the house where the suspect is located. The suspect is said to be a male in his mid-30s, Hispanic as well, and seems to have known the first previous victim. However, police have not described this situation as domestic. Homes on either side of 651 Taft have been evacuated, and now we're still waiting to see when the suspect will leave. We're going to stay here and keep you updated of the situation as it unfolds. But for now, I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Devin, thank you for that live report. And looking out there with live cam, the sun is out, but we're still holding on to 80 degrees, Justin.
Holding on for a few more minutes because those numbers are going to go up quickly. It's going to be another warm afternoon. The good news here is, though, we do have some relief on the horizon with some more showers and storms in the forecast. We actually do have a few showers out there this morning. I want to take you down south of Eagle Pass. We're noticing some light returns there. This is nothing more than a few sprinkles. If you're watching us from Cotulla, you may see a little bit of action briefly this morning. We're certainly not going to see that in San Antonio. The visible satellite picture shows we do have some morning clouds. These will burn off quickly, and we'll end up with mostly sunny skies a little bit later this afternoon. So your forecast, 94 by 2 o'clock. 98 is our high, and heat indices will be up near 100 or a little bit above later this afternoon. Some weather headlines for you. Again, we'll see some relief ahead. The pattern reverts back to more of a rainy pattern, I think, for us by Thursday, Friday, and especially as we get into next week. So good news here as we finish out second half of July. Last night, some big-time storms across the Midwest. A lot of wind in places like Chicago with the derecho event. We're going to explain that. And lastly, some weather history for you. Back in 1987, the Guadalupe River flooded its banks on this day. A very sad event there. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few minutes. Let's get over to RJ now and take a look at the roads.
All right, guys. Yeah, things starting to pick up across the city of San Antonio. We're about to step outside right now as we take a look right here at our camera at 37 at the Alamo Dome, right there, the home of the UTSA Roadrunners. If productivity levels have dropped this week, it's probably because of that new college football game. I know a lot of people have been playing that, a lot of my friends. So yeah, shout out to UTSA out here on a Tuesday morning. Want to give you an update on a couple different things going on across the city of San Antonio right now. And again, it just kind of pops up here and there, but nothing major to let you know about right now. 410 San Pedro, we have a stalled vehicle off to the side there in the eastbound lanes of 410 and San Pedro, but you do see that traffic is moving along pretty smoothly there. Right here, 410 westbound at Starcrest Drive, seeing some backup here for some of our drivers coming up from the 35 area, but again, a couple of things on the northeast side and the north side to let you know about. And one more incident, this is going to be all the way on the far west side of town, 410 and Marbach Road, and we've actually now cleared this out. There was a stalled vehicle there for all of our drivers coming south from 151 going to 90 right there. And just want to give you a quick update also that Taft Boulevard, that situation that Devin's at, we're not seeing any major delays out there due to our traffic right there at Frio City Road and US Highway 90. One other thing to let you know about all the way up on the northeast side of town, that's going to be up there by FM 3009 headed out of the Schertz area on 35. But everything else across the city looking pretty good on this Tuesday morning. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Patty, Stephanie, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ.
Here's today's 9 at 9.
A district court judge has ruled that the Uvaldi Consolidated Independent School District and the Uvaldi County Sheriff's Office must release documents and records related to the Robb Elementary School shooting in 2022. The school district and the Sheriff's Office has until July 28th to release those records, which include police body camera footage, 911 calls, emails, and text messages related to the shooting and investigation.
It's day 2 of the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. It was a wild night of celebrations yesterday as former President Donald Trump officially became the party's nominee for president. Trump made his first public appearance since the assassination attempt over the weekend. He also named his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
The FBI has issued a new bulletin in the wake of the assassination attempt of former President Trump. It warns of possible violence at election-related events. The Secret Service director called the shooting unacceptable and promised transparency in the investigation. She is due on Capitol Hill on Monday for a hearing on the assassination attempt.
There are new details about the gunman's movements ahead of the attempted assassination. On the day of the rally, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks bought 50 rounds of ammunition and told his father he was going to the shooting range. That's when his father gave him the rifle used in the attack. 2 improvised explosive devices were also found in his car and home. A motive for the shooting is still unclear.
Special counsel Jack Smith plans to appeal a federal judge's ruling that dismissed the classified documents case against Donald Trump. Yesterday, Judge Eileen Cannon said the appointment of Smith violated the Constitution. She implied in her ruling that the special counsel might be able to restructure the office's funding to satisfy her concerns.
President Biden is expected to unveil details today about setting a federal cap on rent prices. His plan would eliminate a tax benefit for landlords who increase their tenants' rent more than 5% a year. The plan would need to be approved by Congress before going into effect.
Your gasoline prices may be on the way down soon. Oil prices have slipped today on worries of lower demand from China. Brent crude futures are down about 0.25%. According to AAA, the average price for regular gasoline is $3.11 in San Antonio.
It is now easier to take some money out of your retirement account early to cover emergency expenses. Under new measures in effect now, the IRS will allow withdrawals of up to $1,000 from a traditional retirement account.
Amazon Prime Day is here, and while shoppers get busy swiping and clicking, experts warn scammers are getting busy too. The Better Business Bureau is warning everyone to be wary of deals that look too good to be true. Phony websites and suspicious promotions on social media. Prime Day runs through tomorrow. And that's today's 9 at 9.
Well, tonight on the Night Beat, a chaotic encounter between a San Antonio police officer and a group of people outside a Southwest Side home.
And it ends with a man being shocked by a stun gun twice. Here's Dylan Collier.
Minutes after the encounter began, Aldaco pulls out his department-issued stun gun and deploys it on Aguirre, while Aguirre enters the home.
Oh my God!
One of the man's shoes flies off as you hear his body hit the floor, while Aldaco later wrote he holstered the non-lethal weapon and again attempted open-hand techniques to take Aguirre into custody. The footage shows the stun gun remained pointed at the man until Aldaco delivered a second charge of electric current.
Well, KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier joins us now. And Dylan, what led up to this incident?
So that officer had been dispatched to that part of town searching for a stolen vehicle. He ran the license plate of that truck that was in the driveway, and it came back as a match for that police report. Aguirre, who you saw being hit by that stun gun twice, had gotten out of the truck. The officer attempted to put him into handcuffs, and as you can see, Aguirre did not want to be taken into custody.
And Dylan, some witnesses took issue with the officer following the man into the home. What are the SAPD rules about that?
So they categorized this as a fresh pursuit, that the officer was actively trying to detain someone he believed was involved in a felony. Unauthorized use of a vehicle is a felony offense in Texas. The officer witnessed this man get out of that vehicle that had just come back as stolen. So that's why you see him go into the home to try and get him into handcuffs. There's that notion out there that, well, if they don't have a warrant and I can get into a home, they're not allowed to come inside. But if they are freshly pursuing you, if they've been attempting to take you into custody when you go into the home, by law in Texas, they are allowed to pursue you into the residence, and that's what you saw here.
All right. Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah.
Such an interesting story. We look forward to that tonight on the Night Beat.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Well, KSAT investigates this stun gun skirmish tonight on the Night Beat again at 10.
And the time right now, 9:08, 80 degrees out there, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
Well, it's day 2 of the Republican National Convention, and yesterday was a big day for the party. Later in the show, we're going to have a live report from Milwaukee and learn how Trump's running mate will impact the race.
Plus, a lot of people are weary about artificial intelligence because they're worried it's going to take their jobs. But one San Antonio company is proving that AI can help with production, why employees are still an important part of the job.
And we're going to take a live look at the situation again here on Taft Boulevard. That street is shut down again. A suspect has barricaded himself in a home. A woman was shot in the head, but she was able to tell police what happened. She is in critical condition, and right now police are trying to negotiate the man out of the house. We're going to keep you updated throughout the newscast and throughout the day. Welcome back. It's 9:12. Well, artificial intelligence has become widespread across different industries, reshaping operations, including warehouse management.
Tiffany Huerta shows us how a company here in San Antonio is not only leveraging AI to enhance warehouse management operations, but emphasizing that humans remain an integral part of their process.
This is the number of packages handled by robotic systems created at the company Plus One Robotics in San Antonio.
We build robot systems for warehouse automation. Most robots are in manufacturing. We build robots to deal with applications inside warehouses, a lot of material handling and movement.
Eric Nieves, co-founder and CEO of Plus One Robotics, says artificial intelligence is integrated into every robot deployed.
Most of what we use AI for is processing an image. So we use cameras, special 3D cameras, to look at the packages or the items that need to be picked, and then AI helps us discriminate that image and say, here's the different surfaces that you can pick, here's the different items, I think you should pick this one instead of that one.
The company, located in Port San Antonio, was founded in 2016.
The bulk of our AI talent is coming right here from San Antonio, UTSA, Trinity University.
Brittany Taylor is one of those employees. She graduated from Trinity University and studied engineering science.
I didn't know much about AI, but I was interested in it. So I was like, yes, I'd love to do this if you'd have me.
How do you all stay updated with AI since it's changing so much?
Yeah, it's true. The rate of change is so rapid in AI that if you're entering this field, what was valid 2 years ago in school is already kind of out of date. And it's going to be out of date 2 years from now, what you're learning today. So if you're in AI, you're in perpetual student mode. You are keeping up on publications, the latest research.
Nieves says while AI is transforming warehouse operations, humans continue to play a significant role.
AI, as good as it is, can't keep up with that rate of change. But you and I can, right? So we use humans to sort of augment when the AI is insufficient. A person jumps in and says, yep, I see what you need to do, and tells the robot remotely. And that's why the company's called Plus One, because you add one human being and watch just how much more effective the system is.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
All right, taking a live look outside right now, 9:15, 80 degrees on this Tuesday. You know what can't be AI'd? Our beautiful sun, the weather out there, right?
True.
Not yet.
At least not yet.
No. We have that.
Stuff's mind blowing.
We have that.
Yeah, it changes by the day. I don't know how they keep up with all that I can't keep up with it. But what I can keep up with is this forecast. And I'm encouraged by the fact that we have some more rain potentially headed our way, which is exactly what we want. Let me show you the clouds and radar from last night. This is 9 p.m. last night, and we're taking you up to the Midwest. That's Chicago you see there. Line of storms. These storms actually started back up here around Minneapolis. But this line of storms produced so much damage over a long path. Moved towards Indianapolis this morning. I'm now seeing some storms around St. Louis. But you look at the storm damage, or the storm reports, wind and tornado reports. Not a lot of tornadoes, but mostly wind. Man, this caused a lot of problems from Minneapolis to Milwaukee to Chicago down to Indianapolis. And this is what we call a derecho event. So the definition of that basically is a line of storms that travels at least 240 miles or more and causes wind damage along the way. So there were gusts around 70 miles per hour with this line all the way through. The tornado sirens were going off in Chicago last night because of this. But there's going to be a lot of damage along the way with this event. We see these from time to time up across the Midwest. We don't see them as much down here. High temperatures today. We'll be back in the triple digits for much of the state. San Antonio 98, but places like Abilene and Dallas above 100. Our ridge high pressure, the heat high, is starting to shift back to the west a little bit, but there is going to be more heat in places like Albuquerque, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. Now, let's look down the line. This high actually moves even further west, and this is a good thing for us. We get the clockwise flow around the high, and a lot of times you can get these disturbances that move north to south across the state when the high is over the four corners like it's going to be by Wednesday, and then you'll start to see weak frontal boundaries or outflow boundaries develop and then push south towards South Texas. So that's late Wednesday, and then as we get into Thursday, it wants to develop some showers and storms once again, and I think we'll have a little better chance with that boundary around on Thursday. So that'll be a day that we watch for, and we could get some decent downpours in spots, which would be fantastic. As we go outside for you right now, 80 in San Antonio, 81 in New Braunfels, so warming up as promised. 82 Converse, 73 Boerne, 77 in Kerrville, and everyone is reporting a southerly wind at this point. We have had some clouds, morning clouds, that have developed here around San Antonio. Thicker clouds down to the south. We showed you a few of those showers earlier around Cotulla. These clouds will scatter out, though, and we'll see mostly sunny skies this afternoon. 92 at 1 o'clock. We end up at 98. Feels like temperature will be close to 103 during peak heating. And then we'll see temperatures slip back down into the 90s and eventually 80s tonight. But it is going to be a hot day, that's for sure. This is the forecast heat index in this particular model showing heat indices as high as 104 here in San Antonio. I wouldn't doubt it. Humidity is high enough for that. And a lot of places we'll see that heat index drift up above 100. So some relief would be nice, right? I do think, again, we get that as we head into Thursday with a 30% chance of rain. I bring temperatures down to 95. Tomorrow, 98, by the way. There could be a few storms north of San Antonio, but we're going to keep the forecast dry for now. And then as we get into Friday and Saturday, some small rain chances still. And then we bring rain chances back up Sunday into Monday as some deeper moisture works into South Texas. I was doing the forecast this morning. Honestly, I couldn't believe my eyes. I keep thinking at some point that heat high, knock on wood, is going to drift back over us and we're going to see all this come to an end. But so far that has not happened. Okay. And if we can just keep this trend going right on into August, we're going to make it through summer just fine.
It's been a good summer so far.
Yeah.
So far, it
Let's
really
not
has.
jinx it. Shh, don't talk about it.
I know.
Right?
Part of the job, though, right?
Staying quiet.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
Time now 9:19 and 80 degrees for now.
Now, in the 9 at 9, we told you about a judge ruling that the Uvaldi Consolidated Independent School District and the Uvaldi County Sheriff's Office must release documents and records related to the Robb Elementary School shooting. When we come back, we'll hear from an attorney on the case about what we could see as a result of that ruling and what's still tied up in the courts.
These were public officers acting in their public capacity. So this information really belongs to the public.
Well, it's been kept from the public for more than 2 years, and now we could get records from the Robb Elementary School shooting. by the end of this month.
Now, KSAT is one of a dozen media organizations suing for their release. Yesterday, a judge ruled that 2 Uvaldi agencies must turn them over.
Our Danielle Ibarra spoke with an attorney on the case about what you could see and what's still tied up in the courts.
21 names and 21 crosses. For the last 2 years, the Uvaldi victims' families and the public have fought to remember them. They've also pushed for answers about what happened at Robb Elementary School. Some of those answers could come as soon as July 28th.
We think this is an important step towards transparency and accountability.
Reed Piliphant is an attorney with Haynes & Boone, a firm representing a dozen media organizations, including KSAT 12.
And the public will get a chance to see an unvarnished look at those records.
This order from the judge on July 8th requires Uvaldi CISD and the Uvaldi County Sheriff's Office to turn over records tied to the Robb Elementary School shooting. That includes body camera footage, 911 calls, emails, and text messages.
What it does is give a window into the actions of people that day, how schools are prepared or not prepared, how law enforcement officers acted or didn't act.
Why is that so important?
Because most of what we know right now has really been filtered through other agencies. We know what the Texas House has told us. We know what the U.S. Department of Justice has told us. But the public really hasn't had an opportunity to see many of these records for themselves.
2 weeks ago, a grand jury indicted former UCISD Police Chief Pete Arredondo and former officer Adrian Gonzalez. Both face multiple felony charges of abandoning/endangering a child. Families of the victims and survivors hope to see more accountability.
Do you think by releasing these records, there might be more indictments coming?
We don't think the release of these records will have a direct effect on the district attorney's decision.
As soon as those records are released, journalists here at KSAT 12 are going to be poring over them, and we're going to bring you the latest information. Danielle Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
Thanks, Anita. No, those county and school district records are not the only ones that we've been waiting for. KSAT and several other news organizations are still fighting to get documents from the Texas Department of Public Safety.
Well, DPS is asking a judge to keep its Uvaldi records secret, which has delayed the release of those records and answers for the families of the 21 victims.
Time right now, 9:26, 80 degrees out there. There is still more ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including a live report from the Republican National Convention where we're learning more about Donald Trump's running mate and the latest on the investigation into his assassination attempt.
Plus, a local political science professor talks about how the shooting may impact the race for president for both parties. We'll be right back.
Well, welcome back. It's 9:29. Former President Donald Trump received enough votes to become the GOP presidential nominee just days after surviving an assassination attempt at his rally in Pennsylvania.
His pick for vice president, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, was presented at the Republican National Convention yesterday evening. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez joins us live from Milwaukee. And Ivan, can you talk about the impact that his running mate decision will have on this race?
Stephanie, Patty, good morning. Senator Vance's selection as Trump's running mate really begins to make sense when you look at the path to the White House. Most assessments of the Electoral College really point to President Biden needing to win in at least the states of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and then adding a single electoral vote in Omaha, Nebraska, to then get to that big number, 270 electoral votes to then clinch the presidency. So essentially, Vance could help Trump close off that path for President Biden.
After months of speculation,
it is therefore my honor to nominate Ohio Senator J.D. Vance for the office of Vice President of the United States of America.
Senator J.D. Vance now joins former President Trump as his running mate in the final stretch to the general election.
I have the vision and the agenda aligned with President Trump to make the American worker better off, to bring peace to the world, and to actually advance an agenda that's good for American citizens.
Party leaders also showered Trump with immense support on the first day of the convention, with House Speaker Mike Johnson introducing the roll call to nominate the 45th president for a second term.
The chair announces that President Donald J. Trump having received a majority of the votes entitled to be cast at the convention, has been selected as the Republican Party nominee for President of the United States.
Monday's theme, Make America Wealthy Once Again.
The income of everyday Americans are shrinking in the face of inflation. At the gas pumps, at the grocery store, with the electrical bill, and with the car insurance. This has got to change.
Tuesday's theme, Make America Safe Once Again, where Trump's proposals to bolster law enforcement and combat illicit drugs will be front and center. Several Republican governors congratulated Vance after he was picked for VP. For example, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp said, quote, he's a United States senator. He's been through a tough campaign. He no doubt is a great messenger, and I think he helps President Trump in a lot of ways. On the other side of the aisle, President Biden coming out with a statement saying that Vance is pretty much a clone of Trump on the issues and that he sees no difference between them. Stephanie, Patty?
Well, Ivan, what else are you hearing about the investigation into the assassination attempt of the former president?
Well, the Secret Service is really at this point at odds with its local law enforcement allies. In an interview on Monday with ABC News, the Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle said local police were actually inside of the building at the time of the shooting, that building that the shooter was able to gain access to the roof of, and that it was their role to secure that building. A source familiar with the investigation said that a local sniper team was actually on the second floor at the time looking over the crowd at that rally. So it really, at this point, it is, like I mentioned, in between who really was the agency responsible, the Secret Service or local law enforcement. Now, on the other side of things, investigators are still sort of struck by the fact that they haven't been able to really pin down a motive for why the shooter decided to commit this attack. They've gone through his phone, they've really scoured through his browser history, gone through his bedroom, conducted hundreds of interviews, and they still haven't been able to pin down exactly his motive.
All right, CNN's Ivan Rodriguez, thank you, live in Milwaukee.
Now, with 4 months until the presidential election, there are questions about the potential impact the attempted assassination of Trump will have on the race.
Our Avery Everett spoke to local political science professors about what they expect from both major parties moving forward.
This is going to be an incredibly important election.
In the days after the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump, campaigns for the presidential race are expected to change. Before Saturday, political science experts say the Biden and Trump campaigns focused on personality and qualities rather than their policy. But the attempted assassination has put a pause on these efforts.
Because of what happened.
Trinity University professor Juan Sepulveda says Trump's campaign is pushing his survival as a strategy to win votes.
On former President Trump's side, their campaign, they're going to go even deeper on the strength message.
Well, both of them have.
And that's why Professor Dr. Lydia Andrade at the University of the Incarnate Word says the Biden campaign has tough decisions ahead.
If everything's been about personalities, when is it okay to attack the gentleman that just had an assassination attempt? That's a delicate one for the Biden campaign.
There's no.
With drastically different stances on what the American government should look like, this election is in the spotlight. Now, voter participation may hit a turning point.
How could that influence voters in November?
Oh, I think it's going to motivate a lot of voters.
Is there a sympathy vote? Is there something that comes across that makes this notion of strength in an even deeper piece? And that's going to be kind of one of the key questions moving forward.
As campaigns could change, their proof of success will show up at the polls on November 5th. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Let's look out there with live cam. Oh, those clouds seem to be disappearing. We had more earlier in the show.
It's funny how quickly that happens. Yeah, the blue sky is starting to really show up there, and it is going to be rather toasty this afternoon. So let's start with a picture on our KSAT Connect. This is cool. Caterpillars everywhere. This 19 to be exact, 4 different types. And it says they are munching on an herb called rue. Not familiar with that, but that's pretty cool, and I'm sure they're doing good work. We appreciate the picture. That's pretty awesome. 19 caterpillars. Make sure to send in those pictures to KSAT Connect. We love sharing them with everyone, and you can also check them out on our website, ksat.com. Well, let's look at the pollen count. Molds were low today, 290. No big deal there. These numbers continue to fall, and the air quality's been okay too. So for allergy sufferers, not a bad week, but we do know that rain likely comes back into the picture by the end of the work week, so that could kick up mold a little bit more. Not today, though. Our forecast is hot, and we'll be looking at mostly sunny skies. 98 is the forecast. We'll reach that at about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon, and then down to 92 by 8 p.m. with mostly clear skies. What about those rain chances? We'll look at that, and we'll take a look back at history, too, coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, let's look out there with TransGuide. This appears to be an accident on I-35 southbound at Weidner, but it looks like there's backup on both sides at this time. And this is a shot there at I-35 at Thousand Oaks. And looks like at least southbound, one lane is officially blocked. The others are cleared, but then again, you can see problems on both sides.
And you can see right there the fire trucks, but it also looks like what the collision that the vehicles that are parked there. We hope to have more information on you. And when it clears up, of course, stay with KSAT and KSAT.com. And we are continuing to monitor the situation on the southwest side where San Antonio police and SWAT officers are trying to resolve a barricaded suspect situation. This right here is on Taft Boulevard, just south of Highway 90 near Frio City Road.
And if you're just joining us now, this happened before 7 in the morning. San Antonio police got a call for a shooting and found a woman injured outside of a home on Taft Boulevard. Police tell us that she was shot in the head, but she was able to tell them a little bit about what happened. She is in critical condition. Now, the man accused of shooting her is still held up in that house, and SWAT negotiators are talking to him right now.
And neighbors around the house have been evacuated as a precaution. The street is shut down. We will continue to monitor this situation on air and, of course, on KSAT.com.
The time now is 9:38, and we're at 80 degrees for now. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Amazon Prime Day is underway, but is the big summer event worth it? When we come back, what you need to know before you click the buy button.
Amazon wants you to spend your hard-earned cash on some deals. But is Prime Day worth it this year? Well, consumer data company Numerator reports shoppers saw discounts as deep as 40% last year, and a quarter of those items were selling at a discount of 60% or more. However, some of those can't-miss savings could have misleading marketing. So before you click that Buy Now button, here's some tips to help you make sure you get the best deals on Prime Day. First, Amazon Prime costs $14.99 a month or $139 per year. So if you're signing up for the free trial to take advantage of Prime Day, keep tabs on it before it charges you for the full month or year. And if you want some of the best deals for Prime Day, Consumer Reports recommend signing up for Amazon's invite-only deals and also joining the waitlist for limited-time offers that have already sold out. Make sure that you shop around for the item and look at other retailers to compare prices. Best Buy, Walmart, Target, and even the TikTok shop are offering discounts to compete with Amazon's Prime Day this year. You can even download browser extensions to help you look at multiple stores at once. Now remember, any deal that makes you pay any interest over time could cancel any real savings on the item that you're buying. And if you're watching your budget, make sure to exercise any caution before you make any impulse purchases this year. Ivan Herrera, KSAT 12 News.
We'll try, Ivan. We'll try. Well, who's ready for spooky season? Starting on Thursday, some of Home Depot's biggest Halloween decorations will go on sale. Home Depot recently hinted at the Halloween launch on its Instagram page.
The home improvement store will again have Skelly, the colossal 12-foot tall animated skeleton, and its sidekick, Skelly Dog, on sale. Skelly has been a Halloween hit since it hit stores in 2020. Since then, the retailer has expanded its product line due to consumer demand.
Well, other popular items include a 7-foot animated Frankenstein and the giant Inferno Deadwood skeleton. Very interesting. I mean, it seems early. Of course, I love Halloween, but things are going to sell out by the time we get around.
The smart time to buy this stuff. It's smart time to buy Christmas decorations and all that, but we're just not in that mode.
Not yet.
You know,
It's
Prime
too
Day,
hot.
exactly. And on Prime Day, there's probably some good deals on Christmas and Halloween stuff, but
I know. I don't have my
You're
list
full
yet.
of good ideas today.
well, I'm trying, but I probably won't buy anything because I'm just not in that mode.
Just wait.
Just wait. Yeah. Hey, guys, I want to take you back in history a little bit, back to 1987. A few of you may remember this date. Actually, kind of a sad one for South Texas. So it was on this day going into July 17th that we saw a big flood along the Guadalupe River. And the river rose about 30 feet. So yeah, it was because there was about a foot of rain that fell near Hunt, and then that all flowed down the river. Well, if you remember this, there was a bus carrying summer campers near Comfort trying to cross the Guadalupe, and right as they did, that's when the almost wall of water came down and kind of washed the bus away. Unfortunately, there were 10 lives lost that night and that early morning on July 17th. So this is a reminder that we can see flash floods around here, and that happened very quickly back on this day in 1987. So just a quick reminder there. And as we look at the radar right now, we're seeing a couple of showers, but nothing very heavy. These are all down south of Eagle Pass, south of Cotulla. We've seen a couple of sprinkles, but nothing that is really going to be heavy today at all. And we're not certainly going to see anything here around San Antonio, not today at least. 80 right now in San Antonio, 82 New Braunfels, 82 Converse, 77 Bernie, 79 in Kerrville. We've got southerly winds anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour, and those morning clouds, they're quickly going away. So we're starting to see that sun act in full force, and that's going to push those temperatures up again. Visible satellite picture, you can see we had some morning clouds briefly, but they are quickly scattering out. Now the clouds are a little bit thicker south of Eagle Pass and Cotulla, where we showed you those showers, but any of that cloud cover is going to stay well south of San Antonio. So let's look at the big picture here. And it's all about the heat high. It always is during the summer. We don't like this thing very much, and so far, knock on wood, it has stayed away from us, or at least it hasn't been over top of us. And that's when we get our hottest temperatures. That's when we really, the drought really settles in. So as long as it's out here over the west, that's a good thing. Not good for those folks there, but good for us. It actually shifts a little bit further west as we get later into the week. So let me fast forward here to Wednesday at 5 o'clock. There's going to be a boundary here, weak frontal boundary or just an outflow boundary, whatever you want to call it. That will set up across North Texas. That'll slowly sink south towards San Antonio. This is not a boundary that's going to really cool us down a whole lot, but it could kick up some showers and storms. And in this kind of flow, everything moves north to south. So we get some disturbances, we get a boundary, and all the ingredients come together. That's midday Thursday, showing some showers and storms around here, and I wouldn't doubt it. We're going to put in a 30% chance on Thursday to account for that. In the meantime, still going to be warm, 89 noontime. We make it up to 98 today. The heat index still very much a problem. Anywhere from 100 to 105 is what it will feel like during peak heating. And then we'll see temperatures come down into the 80s by, say, 9 o'clock. Extended forecast, 98 tomorrow. So we do it all again. But remember, we have those storms just to the north of us tomorrow, and then they sink into the area on Thursday. I've put rain chances in Friday and Saturday, although I think they're a little bit lower. Then as we get into next week, there are some indications we could get another disturbance rolling through. And so I've put rain chances, or kicked up rain chances a bit, Sunday into Monday. And look at the temperatures, mid to low 90s.
We love the low 90s.
Yes, this is good. This really has been a good stretch for us.
It has. Very thankful for that. Thank you, Justin.
Don't you think we should give him an A+ for his forecast?
For the last 2 weeks, in fact.
I'll take it. Passing grade at least,
yes,
right?
for sure. Well, it probably feels like summer just started, but it's never too early to prepare for the upcoming school year. So if parents need help doing that, there are so many ways to get school supplies all over the Alamo City. So things like backpack giveaways are just one way that local districts and nonprofits are helping families ahead of the new school year. So if you want to learn more information about how to get some help for your student, you can just scan that QR code in the bottom corner of your screen right now.
Also on KSAT.com, we have an article about a food court at River Center Mall getting a facelift, and a popular San Antonio chef will help lead the renovation. Jason Dady Restaurant Group and a private real estate firm announced the new food hall called Mexico City yesterday. The 21,000 square foot food hall will replace the existing food court inside the downtown mall. It is expected to open early next year. You can read more about the project and see the pictures of what it's expected to look like on KSAT.com right now.
Yeah, I think it's time. I mean, I've grown up with that food court at River Center Mall, and it's nice, but yeah, it's time for a change.
Yeah, and if there's a chef, that means the food's going to be good.
That's true. We look forward to it. Well, time right now, 9:49 and 80 degrees for now.
Well, the national anthem can be a difficult song to sing, don't you think? And now another singer is joining the list of anthem flops.
Oh, say, can you see flag was still there?
Ay. When we come back, how country music star Ingrid Andress stole the show in the wrong way at last night's home run derby.
And let's go to the zoo with ZooCam. And here are our friends, the cranes, who I always have a hard time seeing, but we promise they are there. And you can see them at the zoo along with our friends, the flamingos, and of course the hippos. It's always a great day to go to the zoo. And a reminder, today is actually Locals Day. That means that anybody, Bexar County residents, can get in for just $8. More information on our website, KSAT.com. Welcome back. It was just the start of what could be described as a rather unorthodox rendition of the national anthem at last night's home run derby.
Did you hear it? A 4-time Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter Ingrid Andress did get a healthy round of applause, but ABC's Rhiannon Alley reports it was probably just out of politeness.
Oh, say, can you see?
Fans at the Home Run Derby were paying attention to a different kind of pitch last night.
That our flag was still there.
4-time Grammy-nominated country music star Ingrid Andress becoming the latest singer to struggle with the national anthem.
For the land of the
Critics flooded the singer's social media account with memes reacting to the star-spangled spectacle. Comments on her Instagram account later disabled. She's far from the first performer to be challenged by the anthem. From Michael Bolton forgetting the lyrics in 2003.
By the dawn's early light.
To Fergie's creative rendition, which she acknowledged did not strike the intended tone. Many singers have had trouble with it, but one anthem performance left critics saying, I have nothing to criticize. Whitney Houston at the 1991 Super Bowl. As for the Home Run Derby, Teoscar Hernandez was the big winner after outlasting Bobby Witt Jr. in a dramatic final round. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Go Dodgers.
Yes. and Whitney Houston's voice still giving us chills.
I mean,
over
I'm
here.
not a singer, so I don't know if your voice can just go on and off like that. I don't know. You tell us.
Yeah,
Write to
great
us.
job.
If you're a